Hey, what's going on everyone? Tommy here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna be watching some more Storytime animated. Let's hop into it.
I waved goodbye to my grandma as she departed with the nurses to go to a care home. I'll come to visit you every month, I told her, and she gave me the sweetest smile ever. I loved my grandma a lot. She had looked after me all my life, but as she grew older, she started getting health issues. After that, since I was still a minor,
Alright guys, I'm back.
15, I had to move in with my nearest kin, and I had only one, my mother. It might seem strange to you, but I had never seen my mom in my life, not even once. But before we move on, like this video, hit that subscribe button, and activate the notification bell, and you'll get your favorite meal for dinner tonight. Trust me, it works.
Oh
You
my
see,
gosh.
my mom used to
Oh
be a
yeah,
model,
you should
and when I was
definitely
8,
do
she
that.
had been careless with me. It was so serious that the police had to be involved. And ever since, I was in the care of my grandma. So having to live with her again was an unfortunate event indeed. She came to pick me up that same day, in the evening. And let me make this clear again. It was my first time meeting her or interacting with her. She never even called me, not even on my birthdays. The first thing she said when we met was, "Well, you're fat." That was so rude, and I was very hurt by that comment. My grandma took very good care of me, so I wouldn't say I was slim, but I was very healthy, not even chubby. And that was not it. She complained about my looks the whole time in the car on our way to her house. The only thing I got to know about her was that she was no longer a model, but an agent. Finally, when we arrived at the house, she made one last comment. "Now that you're with me, we're going to work on all your excess weight," she said. I just turned away and rolled my eyes.
Oh bro.
This is going to be a next level nightmare, I thought as I entered the house. To be honest, my gut was exactly right about the living with my mom situation being a nightmare. Because at dinner, she served me very little food, and as the days went by, the portion of the food kept decreasing.
Or
It
like
decreased
do
to the
some
extent
try
that
not
she
to
was
laugh or
feeding
try
me a
not to say
pea-sized
wow
serving
videos.
of every meal. It led to me being hungry all the time. And the worst part
I
was that she
need
didn't
a
even give me any pocket money, so I couldn't even buy anything to eat outside. As a result of that, I started stealing lunches from my friends. I know there could have been other
Behind
ways.
the orange wall. And add again. But it kind of looks satisfying. Like your old one crafting. I don't even think that unreal. No, that's just an app. I know, but does it actually do what it's doing?
One I could think of at the time. One day, just like that, I was going through
You
some
already
lockers
downloaded?
trying to find food or candy or anything that was edible. Suddenly, someone called my name out very loudly. Lena. It was the school principal and a few other teachers. I could clearly see the disappointment and anger on their faces. It's not what it looks like. I tried to explain to them and cried, but they were not willing to listen to me at all. This behavior is not acceptable here, the principal said, and kicked me out of the school premises. After that, well, my life became a terrible horror movie featuring my crazy mom as
Yeah
the
guys,
villain.
don't forget to like and
However,
subscribe and
the
hit
movie
that
turned out to be
notification
not so
bell.
terrible
Also
after
subscribe
along to
to
save the day. One day, my
because I
mom
suck
brought
at
someone
Block
new into the
Man.
house. It was her
Subscribe
boyfriend.
to Cara.
She wanted me to meet him, but I was not excited about that at all because
So guys, before this video upload, we might be doing a Blockman go. Yeah, we will.
It was horrible as well.
Challenge.
Things turned out to be exactly the opposite
And we are
of what
gonna
I
be
had
doing a
assumed. It
challenge.
was
I'm
because
not
the
gonna
boyfriend
say all
was,
the
in
challenge.
fact, a very
Well,
nice
maybe
person.
I should
He treated me
because the
nicely and
Blockman
cared about
video
me, even
will
more than my
upload
mother.
before that
From
one.
time
So
to time,
we're
he brought
gonna
me
be
food from
doing
outside secretly
what's it
because he
again?
knew
Oh
my mom
yeah,
was feeding me way too little.
Obby,
Well,
like
if
the
you haven't already
100
guessed, the good thing in my
obsidian
life
challenge.
too
No
did
other
work,
bed
because one
defense
day when
except
my
for
mom's boyfriend was
obsidian.
sneaking around for me, my mom caught him in the act red-handed and kicked him out of the house and even broke up with him. Around that time, my crazy mom had completely skipped giving me
I
breakfast
sorta
and
like
dinner,
it.
and my days were passed by listening to my stomach growl. Because of that, I thought about resorting to my previous way, which was stealing to get food to eat. However, this time I didn't have school. That meant there was only one place I could steal food from, and that was the neighbors' houses. This time I decided to be more careful while breaking in and stealing, as I didn't want to be found like before. For that, I went to my closet and picked out a black hoodie, sweatpants, and a beanie. I put those on and added a mask, and voila, I was ready to break in and eat. Every night, when midnight arrived, I went out dressed like that. broke into my neighbor's home and ate the food from their fridge. I would go to a different neighbor's home every night, and since it was just food, no one noticed or realized I was stealing. I went on with my life like that for a couple of weeks, and trust me when I say this, I didn't like breaking into others' houses and stealing like that. But at the time, it was a matter of survival. I had turned skinny and weak. Seriously, I had become so skinny that I could possibly fly if there was a strong wind. One night, just like that, I was at a neighbor's house sitting on their kitchen floor while they were fast asleep in their rooms. I was stuffing my face with their leftover dinner. I love when my neighbors have pizza night. I thought while munching on the leftover pizza, suddenly, I felt like I saw some movement in the living room. Oh no! I gasped and quickly moved behind the door to hide, thinking my neighbors must have woken up. But when I looked through a crack of the door to see who it was, I was shocked and terrified. There were two burglars, not like me, real ones. They were dressed like me, with their faces covered, and were picking up all the valuables from the house and putting them in their bags. I was so scared that I almost screamed to notify my neighbors of what was going on in their house. But I instantly covered my mouth with my hands because I too, after all, was a thief in their house. I watched, terrified, as they wiped the place clean of all the valuables. I was so stupid that I didn't even think about escaping then and there. But then all of a sudden I heard a loud scream. It was Mrs. Slippers. She must have seen the burglars in action. In less than a second, her husband too came running out and turned all the lights on. He instantly called the police, but it was of no use. The burglars had already run out of the house and fled. Meanwhile, I just froze as I didn't know what to do. Immediately after that, the police also arrived at the scene. They started investigating and searching every corner of the house, and naturally, as you can guess, one of them came into the kitchen and found me. Since I was in such a shock, I couldn't say anything. Because of that, they instantly deduced that I was one of the burglars left behind among the three. Seems like she's trying to protect her friends. When the policeman said, they took me out, and the Slippers family saw me and recognized me, but didn't say anything. Finally, after that, I tried to gather up some courage and explain myself. Mr. and Mrs. Slippers, I was not with those people who stole your valuables. Please believe me, I said. But they looked the other way and let the police take me to the station. I spent the night in the station jail. But, well, at least they gave me a donut in the morning the next day.
No,
It was
because I
better
already
than
got
having a breakfast at my mom's house. Talking about my mom, she did come to bail me out. I could tell that she was very disappointed, not because I was in jail, but because she had to pay the bail money. You're only here to make trouble for me, aren't you? She said as we got in the car and headed home. She also lectured me in the car while I just sat in silence. And inside I wanted to scream at her and tell her it was all because she fed me too little.
Okay guys, this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Report notification and join my Discord server.
It was a good thing. He was nice to me, and more importantly, he cared about
He was
me.
just joking,
Despite all that,
guys.
I felt like there was something fishy about him that I had no idea about. I have to figure out everything. I thought to myself and instantly got into spy mode. I started spying on them and took notes of their every move. I was following them around everywhere like a pro stalker, and they never even got a hint of it. However, they didn't do anything suspicious either. They either went to the mall or the modeling agency.
I think Putin does
I followed them to a
I don't know.
motel.
I think if
It
you
was
like
just a couple of blocks from the house. What do they have to do with the motel when the house is so near? I thought.
I hope there's no
After
like
that, they
noise in
entered
the
room and
background
locked
like
the
my
door.
other
I
video.
have to know what's going on in there, I said to myself, and went around to the building to find a window at the back of the same room they entered. And what I saw in there was more than shocking. My mom was complaining about how she had to bear having me around with her boyfriend. Meanwhile, she was also pulling some stuff out of her face, which I thought was disgusting. In seconds, she pulled out something that looked like skin, but was in fact a mask.
Yeah.
Who is she? I thought, and gasped. She was not my mother at all. I wanted to figure out the truth, so I listened to their conversation very carefully. Let me starve her. She got in my way of getting the house and wealth. Her mom was ready to give up and hand over everything to me. She said, no, you should treat her better for now. The boyfriend replied, her grandma is in poor health. After she passes, the girl will have the house and wealth. He added, then we can get that from the girl. Double money. You're so smart. She replied in Hunt him. They were just cons who were trying to get money from us, which scared me a little. After that, we can get rid of her and her mom in the basement. The boyfriend replied.
Welcome back,
After
guys.
hearing that,
Castle.
I got so scared that I felt dizzy and stumbled and fell in the
I'm
trash can
checking
near
up
mine, which
the
made a loud sound. Oh
block on
no,
the
the cons
phone.
must have heard
If
that,
you
I
if you
thought,
if
and
you
ran
enjoyed
from
this
there in a
video,
flash,
you
making my
can
way to the house.
subscribe.
My first thought after running was
So
to save my real mom
Tommy
from the
is also
cons
making
and
a
rescue her
video,
from the locked
right?
basement. So
Yeah.
as soon
Wait,
as I reached the
you
house,
making?
I went straight to the
Tata,
basement,
you're not
and there
gonna
she
upload
was,
the video
chained to the wall.
because
There was my real mom.
we have to go and look
She
for
looked very
Mokai and
weak,
ask
sick,
him.
and pale after being locked up in the basement for so long. I
Monkey
wasted
did
no
it
more time
good.
and tried to unchain her, but then the con showed up at the scene. Well, look who we have here, the con woman said. She had no shame or guilt in her face and was not even worried the slightest that I was aware of the truth. Now that you know everything, it's much easier for us. We can lock you both down here. She added and told us that they just needed us alive so they could get the money. After that, they gave a very mean laugh like some supervillain duo and locked us in the basement and went upstairs. I was very upset and scared. I had no idea what to do, as there was no way out for my real mom and me. I just collapsed on the floor and cried while scratching the floor continuously, as if I had experienced a psychotic break. My real mom tried to console me. "I'm so sorry you got into this mess because of me," she said, but it was of no use, as I kept on
Bruh,
crying and
guys.
scratching the floor, gathering dirt. After crying for a while, I stood up and went to my mom. With all my strength, I tried to unchain her, and since the chain was very old and rusty, it came out.
Mom feeds me
be ready
too
to
little,
run,
bro.
I said, and started screaming out loudly. "Help! Is anyone there? Please help us!" I screamed. Hearing that, the con couple came down as quickly as possible, unlocking the basement door. "Stop shouting, you little rat," the con man said. They both looked very angry and irritated. I took that chance very seriously and gave them a surprise. Actually, I had scratched the floor before in order to gather dust just for that moment. I picked a handful of dust and threw it right in their eyes. They started rubbing their eyes and cursing me, but I didn't stay to listen. I took my real mom's hand and ran out of there. We locked the basement door behind us and
Okay, we
wasted no
get
time
it. It's
calling
a
the
real
police.
mom, just
The police
say
came
mom.
quickly, and we explained everything to them. "Don't worry, they'll be going in for a long, long time," one of the policemen said, and took the cons away. After that, my real mom and I started knowing each other and formed a bond over cooking and eating a lot of delicious food. Thanks for
Well, guys, this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe with post notifications. And join my Discord server. Link will be down below in the
Subscribe
description.
to my channel, link will be down below in the description.
Yeah, guys. Even though he's right behind me, subscribers. But yeah, the link to my channel will also be down below in the description. Bye. Peace out.